What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be covering another installment of Shikamaru Shinden Mourning Clouds. So for those of you guys who are new to the channel and you accidentally stumbled across this video by accident, I'm going to tell you to go to the home page of the channel, scroll down to the Naruto novel section, look for the Naruto novels that are set in the Boruto era, and look for the Shikamaru Shinden Mourning Clouds playlist, because if you're still here past this point, I'm assuming you guys are all caught up with the story, and so let's just get right into it. So we're about 95% of the way done with the story right now. So essentially, this is going to be the final video in this playlist. Essentially, this scene takes place after Naruto's giving a speech to all the feudal lords on the continent where the 5 great nations are. So this is the feudal lords from the 5 great nations, as well as all the smaller countries as well, and all the representatives from these smaller countries. And so after Ikkyo gives his very beautiful speech where he talks about the fact that Naruto has inspired him to be a better person, for him to be a better feudal lord, and Ikkyo bows his head and calls Naruto to the stage, which, like I said in the video prior to this, is a huge moment because Naruto technically works for Ikkyo. That's like having your boss bow his head down to you and say, I did everything because of you. That's a pretty big deal. And what you get right here is Naruto gets this impassioned plea. He talks about his losses from the 4th Great Ninja War. And he also talks about the fact that, like, it's because he suffered so much during the 4th Great Ninja War that these times of peace, he cherishes it. He cherishes being able to eat breakfast with his family when he's able to do so. He cherishes being able to spend time with his kids, spend time with his wife. And he says that ninja aren't any different than people. It's because they've gone to the battlefields, and if there ever is a war that breaks out, it's because they have to go to the battlefield, that they understand how important these smaller moments are. And he makes it clear, nobody in this generation that has suffered through war wants to undergo a 5th Great Ninja War, especially when it's something that can be avoided if they take the proposal that the Land of Fire has, which is to give back the territory that they won after the 3rd Great Ninja War back to the Land of Earth. It's a modest proposal, but it's something that works. And what I like right here is that you see on full display the maturation process of Naruto. And Shikamaru has a line in the scene where he talks about the fact that Naruto doesn't have the biggest vocabulary. He basically calls him an idiot, but he says that it's because Naruto speaks with such simple words and with so much passion that that passion is able to let people know that Naruto's coming from a very sincere place and that Naruto can be trusted. And you can tell how badly Naruto wants this to be a success. Well, taking that a step further, Naruto goes back to the moment that he had with Kurotsuki, where she's demanding all of Konoha's intel on how they do surveillance and the progress they've made on ninja tech. And so what Kurotsuki wanted was for that intel to be shared. Well, what Naruto says is that I don't just want to give up all of my intel that my village has and how we operate, with the exception of stuff like jutsu codes in order to get into our village, but I'm willing to share all of the advancements we've made. Using the ninja tech, making ninja tech in general, is something that we never should have done without telling all the other villages that this is what we're doing. I see now that that could have been a military sign of aggression. That's not something I want. I will share all of our resources with the 5 great nations, all of them. And in return, I hope that all the ninja villages share their advancements as well. Ninja by default keeps secrets. But if we're going to maintain peace and work towards a world where we don't need ninja, and that's key, work towards a world where ninja are no longer needed, they've all got to be on the same page. And I like that you see the light bulb go off on Naruto's head. Naruto has made the same line of thinking that Shikamaru made earlier in this novel, and Kakashi makes in the Kakashi Redstone novel, which is, in order for there to be true peace, they need a world where you don't need a feudal lord, you don't need a Hokage, you don't even need ninja. You need a basic military to defend your village, but you don't need much of anything else. Now, that also means that you have to deal with those Otsutuski threat, but that's the world that Naruto is working towards. Well, by making those concessions that Naruto does, Naruto, through his talk no jutsu, which the speech is too long for me to read it in this video, I will say this: Naruto put up so much of a fight in that time that Kurotsuki goes over to Shikamaru as Shikamaru is smoking a cigarette, getting ready to fall asleep because he knows that Naruto has it. And she takes the concession and she says, my whole position's changed. I will stand up to my feudal lord now. And Shikamaru again thinks checkmate. So with the scene finally being set, I'm going to read to you guys the selected passages from the novel. Then I'm going to come back to you guys with my thoughts. And it's going to be here. I'm going to begin quoting. Shikamaru! A voice called out to Shikamaru. The world shook violently and he rolled off the bench. He looked up with red eyes to find his friend outlined in the night sky. Naruto, he murmured, dazed, squatting next to the bench. He'd been having a really good dream, but now he couldn't remember what it was. His mind was half drifting even in sleep now. The Hokage looked down, exasperation on his face, hands on his hips. It's over. Yeah? You hear the result? Nah, Shikamaru replied, hands still on his hips. Naruto sighed. The moon had risen quite high into the sky. The last quarter looked down on them from their perch in the darkness. Not even interested? Naruto asked, almost sulking. Shikamaru snorted with laughter, then shook his head from side to side. Why not? I heard up to Kurotsuki's speech. He replied and yawned. After wiping away the tears that had welled up in the corners of his eyes, he offered his unconvinced friend some additional words of explanation. It was obvious that we won the minute she accepted the proposal from you and Lord Ikkyo. Shikamaru finished. So that's why you're out here sleeping, huh? Naruto asked. Yeah. Sounds about right for you, Naruto laughed. Shikamaru? Yeah, thanks. Naruto said, a curious look on his face. I was able to get this far because you were right there with me the whole time. I would have given up ages ago without you. Naruto said, liar. Shikamaru snorted. You never would have given up, with or without me. Those words, give up, weren't exactly in Naruto's vocabulary. I'm telling you, I wouldn't have known what to do without you. You always shine a light on the path I'm supposed to follow, Naruto said. His friend held out a hand. Keep being there for me, Naruto said. Shikamaru grabbed the offered hand and a powerful force pulled him to his feet. Naruto, Shikamaru, Kurotsuki called out, approaching them with their aide in tow. Coming to a stop in front of Naruto, the Tsuchikage smiled gently. I see how far you are willing to go, and I get it. I wronged you. I'm sorry. I just apologized to Chojuro too, Kurotsuki said, a smile sweeping from ear to ear. Naruto shook his head. You're in a tough spot because of the daimyo, yeah? Don't worry about it, Naruto said. I appreciate you saying that. Kurotsuki bowed her head slightly. End quote. Now, what I like right here is there's a little bit that I forgot to mention earlier, which is the fact that when Kurotsuki comes out to tell Shikamaru personally that she's going to advocate that the land of Earth not go to war, and that she's going to advocate and make it clear that the Hidden Stone Village values peace more than the profits of the feudal lord. Shikamaru plays it off like he's yawning and has tears in his eyes from wanting to go to sleep, but it's written in a sarcastic manner in this time because of how hard Shikamaru wrote. The way that I interpreted what we have right here is that Shikamaru wanted this peace and to prevent this war so badly, and after hearing Naruto's speech, Shikamaru was moved to tears. And I love that right there because it's showing a breakdown in the walls, because earlier on, as they were waiting for the vote to take place, Shikamaru has a moment where he confronts his own mortality. And that's why I think that those were genuine tears here, because he thinks about the fact that if there is a war that breaks out, if he died and he leaves behind his wife, if he leaves behind his son, he thinks about the fact that he could never live with himself for putting his family through that type of torment, that same torment that he himself knows from losing his father. And what I like right here is that when all this is resolved, Shikamaru was woken up by Naruto, and Shikamaru felt confident enough that Naruto could handle this, that after hearing Kurotsuki concede to him personally before she went on stage and spoke, Shikamaru laid down and went to sleep because he knew that Naruto had it. And what I like here also is that Kurotsuki mans up and she bows her head to Naruto, which is very huge because that is a very proud individual right there. So I like that you see everything kind of coming to a close right now. And I like how Naruto and Ikkyo both acknowledge the elephant in the room. This was greed that was causing this, and that ninja do not want another war to break out. That's not something that they advocate for and push for. Ninja are more than just people who are taught the violent ways to fight. Ninja are people. But because of the feudal lord structure, because they have to do what the feudal lord tells them, peace is always something that can be very fragile depending on the whims of a feudal lord, which is why Ikkyo bowing to Naruto is so huge, and it's why Kurotsuki bowing to Naruto in front of her aides is so important, because it is showing that people are willing to trust into Naruto. So, and essentially from here, it's basically small scenes where Naruto and Shikamaru share a moment where they reflect on the fact that crisis has been averted. Naruto and Shikamaru walk back to the Hidden Leaf Village, and Shikamaru smiles as he sees his son. His son has taken on a very important mission where he's going to be guarding a feudal lord, and he's being accompanied by Shikamaru's team of Anbu that Shikamaru deployed earlier on in the novel. And Shikamaru, as he walks through the village, realizes that this is what peace was really for. This is what everything was about, maintaining that level of peace. And it goes back to Naruto, because Naruto is the one that stepped in when Shikamaru began to lose faith, and it was Naruto who brought about this peace that they're continuing to enjoy in this time. So in closing, I have to say this was a very enjoyable read, seeing this different side of Shikamaru and seeing a different side of Naruto. I want to know from you guys, what do you guys think about, number one, Kurotsuki being willing to admit that she made a mistake, and the fact that Naruto was able to inspire her to take a public stand against her feudal lord, knowing all too well that her feudal lord can cut funding to her village. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.